Ever wondered about the hidden figures of World War II? We all know the stories of D-Day, the Battle of the Bulge, and the victory in Europe. But there's a chapter of this history that has, for too long, remained in the shadows. A story of courage, sacrifice, and the fight for freedom. On two fronts, today, we're diving deep into the incredible, yet often overlooked, contributions of black soldiers in World War II. Let's rewind to the early 1940s. The United States was gearing up for a global conflict, a war against tyranny and fascism. The call to serve went out across the nation, and over 1 million black Americans answered. But their path was anything but straightforward. They joined a military that was deeply segregated. Imagine this. You're willing to lay down your life for your country, but that same country denies you the basic rights and dignities afforded to your white counterparts. Initially, the military leadership was reluctant to place black soldiers in combat roles. They were often relegated to support positions, working as truck drivers, cooks, and construction workers in quartermaster and engineer units. While these jobs were absolutely essential to the war effort supply, lines are the lifeblood of any army. It wasn't the full extent of what these men wanted to contribute. They wanted to fight. They wanted to prove their valor on the battlefield. One of the most famous examples of this determination is the 761st Tank Battalion, known as the Black Panthers. Their motto was, "Come out fighting," and they lived up to it. Activated in 1942, they were one of the first black armored units to see combat. They landed in France in October 1944 and were attached to General Patton's Third Army. Patton, initially skeptical, told them, "I don't care what color you are, so long as you go up there and kill those Krauts." And they did. The 761st fought for 183 consecutive days, a grueling, non-stop campaign across 6 countries. They faced brutal winter conditions, fierce German resistance, and constant danger. They were instrumental in key battles, including the Battle of the Bulge, where they helped break through enemy lines and relieve surrounded American forces. Despite their incredible bravery and effectiveness, their story was largely ignored for decades. It wasn't until 1978 that they received a Presidential Unit Citation for their extraordinary heroism. Think about that, over 30 years to get official recognition for what they accomplished. Then there were the Tuskegee Airmen, the legendary fighter pilots of the 332nd Fighter Group. Before them, a racist 1925 Army War. College study had concluded that black people were unfit for combat and lacked the intelligence and courage to fly complex aircraft. The Tuskegee Airmen shattered that myth into a million pieces. Trained in Tuskegee, Alabama, under immense pressure and scrutiny, they became one of the most respected escort groups of the war. Flying their distinctive red-tailed P-51 Mustangs, they earned the nickname Red Tail Angels. Their primary mission was to protect Allied bombers on dangerous raids over Europe, and they were exceptionally good at it. The bomber crews they escorted knew that when the Red Tails were on their wing, their chances of making it home safely were significantly higher. The Tuskegee Airmen flew over 15,000 individual sorties, destroyed hundreds of enemy aircraft, and proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that skill and bravery know no color. Their success was a massive blow to segregation and a powerful argument for the integration of the armed forces. But it wasn't just men making a difference. Over 6,500 black women also served in the Women's Army Corps, or WAC. The most famous unit was the 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion. When they arrived in Europe in 1945, they faced a seemingly impossible task. Warehouses were overflowing with millions of pieces of undelivered mail and packages intended for American soldiers. Morale was plummeting. The Army estimated it would take 6 months to clear the backlog. Under the command of Major Charity Adams Early, the women of the 688 got to work. They worked around the clock in 3 shifts, in cold, rat-infested hangars. They created their own system for tracking and sorting the mail, dealing with damaged addresses and common names, and they cleared the entire backlog not in 6 months, but in just 3. They reconnected soldiers with their loved ones back home, providing a vital link that boosted morale across the entire European theater. They were true unsung heroes, and their unit was the only all-black, all-female battalion to serve overseas during the war. Let's not forget the soldiers on the ground during the Battle of the Bulge. As American casualties mounted during Germany's surprise winter offensive, General Eisenhower made a controversial decision. He offered black soldiers and service units the chance to volunteer for combat as riflemen. Thousands volunteered for the opportunity to fight, even though it meant serving in segregated platoons attached to white companies. These men, who had been driving trucks or loading supplies just weeks before, were thrown into the front lines of one of the war's deadliest battles. They fought with incredible courage, helping to push back the German advance and secure victory. Many were recommended for medals, but few received them at the time. Their contributions were another powerful testament to their desire to fight for their nation. For these black soldiers, sailors, and airmen, this was a double V campaign: victory against fascism abroad and victory against racism at home. They were fighting for the ideals of freedom and democracy that they themselves were so often denied. When they returned home from the war, they weren't always greeted as heroes. They came back to a country still plagued by Jim Crow laws, discrimination, and racial violence. But their service had planted a seed. The valor they demonstrated, the myths they debunked, and the leadership they cultivated had a profound impact. Their experiences in the war fueled the burgeoning civil rights movement. Having fought and bled for freedom overseas, they were more determined than ever to achieve it at home. In 1948, President Harry Truman issued Executive Order 9981, officially desegregating the U.S. Armed Forces. It was a direct result of the pressure and the undeniable record of excellence established by black service members during World War II. The stories of the 761st Tank Battalion, the Tuskegee Airmen, the women of the 6,888th, and the countless other black soldiers who served are not just black history, they are American history. They are a crucial part of the story of World War II. They remind us that heroes come in all colors and that the fight for freedom is a complex, ongoing struggle. By remembering their sacrifices and celebrating their triumphs, we get a fuller, more honest picture of the greatest generation. Their legacy is a powerful reminder of patriotism in the face of adversity. They fought for a nation that didn't always fight for them, in the hope of creating a more perfect union. And for that, they deserve our deepest respect and gratitude. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more hidden histories, and share this video to help ensure these heroes are never forgotten. See you next time.